Yo, what's going on, everyone? Left Unsaid, back with another quick bop breakdown from the Danny Brown sample this week. Uh, let's just jump right in. Just got a couple things I wanted to show you guys. Thought it'd be fun to go over some of the bass work and the drums in this. So let's just get right into it. Pretty much started with just a splice lo-fi drum loop. Sounds like this. Pretty simple, like kind of swung off the grid lo-fi beat there. Just dragged the whole sample in, left it as is, and just layered kick and some snares and claps and tons of other percussion with it. As for the sample itself, the tune kind of starts off with the Danny Brown banger part, and then it's just got some ping pong delay, altar boy, OTT, some bit crusher, and then the main vocal that comes in for the verse has nectar and some just more compression, saturation on it. Pretty much left the verse as is, just pitched it a little bit to fit the key. Don't really want no war, wait like say no more, no more. I craft like a dress, your blood on the floor. Nectar's probably doing most of the work. It's just one of those like EDM vocal presets in there that kind of gives it some octave harmonies and some delay and distortion a little bit. Nothing too special there. I took some resamples of just like some breaths in between his phrases and some little one-shots just to add some accents. So there's like some OTT and Saturn, some phaser, more OTT, just kind of like bringing up the artifacts and the breaths. I like that one. That one's dope. Yep. Some like yas here. So that's more or less all I use from the sample. Just slap the vocal over the drums. But what's interesting is that I pulled the groove out of this sample, the one from Splice here. As you can see, pulled the groove out, put it to 16ths, because that's kind of what the vocal flow is. Most of the vocal notes are 16th notes. And just kind of pulled back the timing so it's not super choppy. And just applied that to the vocal. So it kind of fits this drum flow here. Don't really want no war, wait like say no more, no more. I craft like a dress, your blood on the floor. Don't really want no war, wait. And I can take it off and unfreeze it and all, but you probably get the picture. Like it's just more of a rigid on the grid flow that he originally had, and I just like put the groove pool on it. And whenever you're working with groove, I find it's helpful to kind of apply it to a lot of the key elements of the track, mainly like drums, any kind of lead or like bass, rhythmic bass, if you have a rhythmic bass, just to keep it in line with one another so you don't have one main element that's on the grid and then say your drums are swung and everything else is straight. That would sound kind of weird to me personally. So put the groove on the rest of those, and then just layered up some of the drums. Got the F and kick, one of the best kicks I've heard in a minute. Just some little wood tap from my pack. As you can see, the snares are all shifted back a bit, and the kicks are shifted forward. Kind of makes it that lazy swing. Some like medicine claps, some cashmere claps. I'm super big into like the pre-shifted transients. So altogether, the kick and snare group sounds like this. And then you start adding more perks in. Got some like accent hits for the snares, some upbeat hi-hats, some like quick little hat trills, clock tick. As you can see, all these are delayed a little bit, just to keep the groove going. Super weird process crash, frequency shifted redux. It's not really a crash, it's more of like the almost a kick layer kind of texture. And then this is all like high-end stuff here. I love that this part here. Very techy kind of flow. Super into that. So yeah, and then the drum processing together. One cool trick that I used to do a lot, but I haven't been using this rack as much, but this is a perfect drum group to use it on, was this Saturn as a transient shaper. And all you got to do is load up a blank Saturn, add envelope followers, 2 of them, and click this target and drag it to the level. I'm not going to do it again because it's already set up, but that's all you got to do for each of these. Drag them to the level, and then click the plus and minus button. So have this one be the plus and this one be the minus. And so this is controlling your attack and sustain, similar to a transient shaper. So I'll play with these so you can hear it solo the whole drum boss. So without it, you'll be able to hear that it's kind of just a little bit weaker. Very subtle, but watch when I turn it up. Or turn up the sustain. So it makes quite a big difference, really. I just use it in moderation, just like 10 or 11 right there. Makes it knock a little bit harder. And then for the sub work here, it's probably not the most interesting part of the track, honestly. These together. Yeah, so the sub, it's just here's the main one here. It's just a resample sub layer with a blues amp on it. And then kind of fitting that drum groove again, adding little accents and pitch bend. And then on top of that is like a little octave above. It sounds weak on its own, but it adds that extra harmonic. And these just get a little bit of chorus automation. So the LFO, that stuff comes in like over here to help keep rhythm. And on the whole group, there's some volume automation going on to keep it like a half note kind of pump, you know? It's a very much push and pull feel, like very much, you know, sucking and spitting out kind of vibe. So yeah, let's keep going on these bass layers. Just a couple cone sound or some neuro basses layered in. That's the cool one there. This F and patch that you can kind of barely hear is just more for the top end, high mids, swelling into the snare, or the next kick, I mean. With the sub, it kind of adds that extra layer. In the whole context, it doesn't make a huge difference, but just adds that extra little something. And then these are nice too. These just fall on the kicks. So with the kick and this. Just like that acapella respace. And then this, just a bunch of processing on it, kind of roll off all the highs, and then add all the highs back with like distortion and saturation. Pretty classic. And then this sample kind of makes the track for me, honestly. Great turnaround little I don't know where that's from. It's a splice sample. Let's see. So yeah, it's just a sub, but distorted to shit, yeah. Little reverb automations here and there to keep it spacey. Yeah. And then the whole subgroup gets a little bit of saturation, some imaging on the top end, just to help bring out that noise and texture. Just dipping some bands here, and then just gets compressed to the trigger kick. Just a hi-hat trigger. It's turned off. And then this synth group here is just a whole lot of splice samples. Just a flute, some reversed ambience. It's like Sober Rob vocal that I resampled with some ping pong delay on it. And then just a splice one shot and a sampler. It's like a distorted sine wave. Little X and G sample. Shout out X and G in the chat. Cool little hit right there. Oh, these are cool. These like chord swells. I've had this rack forever. It's just like a few serums stacked on top. Everything's macroed up. You can see I have attack, cutoff, decay, some compression, reverb. The patches are pretty simple. Just these basic MDC tables set on a wavetable out of envelope. And then, like I said, these are kind of mapped to this so you can change the shape, because you can see here these are long. And then it just cuts, and then these are like quick. So you can change the flow entirely and make it super wavy, but just some simple automation that's macroed up. The processing doesn't really matter too much. I think it's just some delay, reverb, EQ, beef, OTT, cutting the lows, automating the high roll off there. Yep, very cool. And I'd like take this, resample it, and put more reverb, reverse it. Classic. Yeah, that's pretty much it on that. As for the mastering, a lot of people ask me about the mastering still, but more or less nothing, just that high pass roll off for the sides only. And then just a Pro L on the practically clipping. Got 0-0, not doing nothing. It's all in the mix, boys and girls. We just gotta go. Same without the master, same with it. Just not clipping. Without it, it's probably clipping pretty hard, honestly. Yeah, clipping like 6 dB, but who gives a shit, you know? Super fun one to make. I'll probably try to structure this out, add a little bit more of a theme to it, try to make an intro, maybe turn it into a full tune, or just take some sounds I like out of it. But hope you guys learned something. If you got any other questions, hit me in the chat. Have a good one. Peace.